To be vulnerable on social media is a major risk. On one hand, you can see that others may have experienced what you have gone through and feel vindicated, or on the other side, there could be doubt and ridicule that you even try to open up. The topic of today's video is that of your favorite student, a comic about the experience of grooming and sexual harassment from an older animation professor. To be more specific, it's about the reaction to this work of art. Hello, I'm Dovin, and let's dive into this social media reaction to an artist opening up on Twitter. And of course, as always, we'll take a look at responses from my fans of their reaction to the same comic. Also, to make it clear, please don't go after anyone mentioned this video. If you do have something to say, just leave a comment. Please, just do that instead. The initial comic will be posted on Twitter and Instagram July 1st, 2024. We will circle back to the Instagram posting a bit later in the video, but let's now focus on the comic. The comic features the creator, Aaron, and her professor nicknamed Mitch for the purposes of anonymity. And to make it perfectly clear, this was never a call-out comic, nor a call to action for the professor of any kind. Just wanted to get that out of the way. In the beginning, the comic is showed that Aaron liked talking to the professor. She appreciated that there was someone who was interested in her creating art after all these years. However, despite being a married man, the professor would cross the line making sexual jokes that would make her uncomfortable, depicting that efforts such as reporting him would be futile, that she isn't a victim in all of this as per his words, or at least that was in her mind. So she would later make an official complaint of a drawing mirroring the cover art. That's few panels showing that she has become free from his grasps and that someday she will make it. Now, that would be the end of the story if this was received well, or at the very least a different ending if that were the case. The issue is that due to a couple of factors, the comic would not be taken seriously by many people. Two of the most liked tweets I had seen about the comic share a similar sentiment. The most liked one would be from Yellow Jello 2763. Quote, "This comic really showed how heartless the website became after Elon took over." As well as this one by Mommy's Carcass saying, "Honestly, the reaction to the comic and other meaningful art pieces is why I'll never post my serious art. People have become so vile." While the comic would get support overall, there were a lot of people commenting negative things about it for one reason or another. Some would say that due to her age, she couldn't have been groomed, or that she is too ugly to be groomed. I'd also see some comments saying that, judging by what was shown in the comic, nothing actually happened and that she should just move on. Others would say that she deserved it, that she's actually lying about what happened, that she's being overly dramatic with everything. Again, this comic wasn't trying to prove anything, nor was a direct call-out. This was just her personal experiences told her way in a form of art. And the comic would garner over 43.9 million views and 338,000 likes overall. The reaction would land the comic on the Know Your Meme website. And that's pretty weird, right? Just a little weird that your traumatic experience is like a meme now that people share and it's on a meme website. Just me. On there, the description of said comic would read, "Achieved virality as an exploitable meme format to meet the wave of trauma dump comics on Twitter," comparing the comic to that of "I Might Go Homeless" and "I Forgot You Were a Man." Both topics would be left for discussion in another video. And if you thought that weird comics would be the end of it, then you haven't used Twitter for that long. People would meme the cover art image. For Know Your Memes examples of Skibidi Toilets and an anime video game would be shown, amongst many others. The professor of the comic would be added in tweets by Aerosol Kid, depicting other antagonists of widespread artworks on Twitter. Top comments under this page would share sentiments that they can't take the comic seriously because of how she depicts the characters. Chris would be the most liked comment, critiquing the art, saying it should have been drawn more realistically, and joking that the characters look like they're from a Laika movie. However, in the end, they hope that the artist can overcome the harassment and people making fun of the piece. The other top comments by Gay Science said that they should expect this art to be made fun of, that you should expect it if people make fun of 9/11 in a similar manner. And then, for some reason, went to a little tangent about male feminists being rapists. Okay. I would agree in some form if it was just comments, but a now deleted tweet by Erin acknowledges that she expected some of the shitposting from the comic. However, people had been drawing porn of her getting sexually assaulted by the same professor. And sure, this could have been drawn in a more realistic style, but I don't think that would have changed much of the response. My interpretation of the character design of the professor is that he is drawn that way specifically, to elicit the idea that he is a safe person. The exterior of a lovable, muppety person hides an otherwise darker motive within. But that sentiment also implies that art can be only taken seriously if done a specific way. I mean, I'm an anime puppet. If my words were said either by a live action person or just no visual representation at all, my words just mean more because it was said in a different way. It's like, you didn't make this comic in a specific way that I felt connected and empathetic towards. I'm just going to dismiss the opinion. And for a lot of parts of 9/11, it's not really the most apt comparison, as the difference in scale and personability is very different. 9/11 is an event, an idea that occurred over 20 years ago, while this comic is posted personally on social media rather recently. And more specifically, the comments directly interact with the medium. Most would agree that the degree of separation adds to the easeability in making a joke about an event. I might get comments about me being the joke police, like I haven't shared any dark humor with anyone ever. What I am saying is that you don't have to comment these things, and if you do want to make the jokes, probably just share with your friends, maybe privately separately away from the actual person, and definitely don't draw that weird shit that people were drawing of her for some reason. There actually have been studies regarding social media and empathy. An article written by Allison J. Montagano on Psychology Today was called Social Media and Empathy Around the Globe. In it, she mentioned studies on empathy and how it can change depends on the age and nationality of the person. Asking 1,250 Americans, they reported that the more social media people use, the lower levels of empathy. Quote, also those who reported using more social media generally reported more symptoms of narcissism and alexithymia, being out of touch with one's own emotions, two traits that often go hand in hand with low empathy. When I mentioned nationality, the same notion is actually different overseas. For the UK, Spain, and Netherlands, it was shown that people who had a higher social media use actually led to higher empathy. Though in India, there's no relation between empathy and how much social media they had consumed. In a different article by Charlene Christie called Evaluating Peers in Cyberspace, The Impact of Anonymity, was posted on Science Direct. This mainly focused on the hidden nature of online social media. Quote, in the absence of clear situational cues regarding normative expectations, it predicted that the impact of personal factors such as conformity, self-esteem, empathy, and social anxiousness, and opinions become strengthened under anonymous conditions. Specifically, we hypothesized that participants with higher self-esteem and autonomy scores be the most likely to harshly evaluate targets when anonymous. Of course, this is from an American study, and as noted before, the difference in nationality probably would have changed the result. However, this is only half the story of why there might have been more mean comments. A theory that I'll propose is that since the addition of the blue check mark can incentivize engagement in the worst ways possible. You see, the more attention you get with views, the potential someone has for engagement and even money. This isn't implying that everyone with blue check mark in the comments have that monetization, but it does feed back into itself in the community. This can be reposts of popular works being shared time and time again, commenting multiple times, or just being negative because it's more shareable. In doing so, it shapes the community and how people react around it. That engaging in a work of art like this on a platform like Twitter can cause more negativity to seep up. I mentioned Twitter specifically as the same comic was posted to Aaron's Instagram. For the website's design, with the post being more prominent on the platform and comments regulated into a smaller portion, the response was more positive overall. This does show the major differences when a platform encourages people to get views any way possible, and of course, when it leads to money, we're gonna do whatever. We're gonna comment a lot, we're gonna say some mean things to you. And of course, there have already been studies of how people engage with negativity more than positivity. I'm sure if being more positive got more likes, we'd see the opposite effect, though in a very insincere way. Though I suppose many would take that compared to what we have now and what comments you are more likely to see under comics like this. Even with all the negative comments, that doesn't negate the passion and emotion Aaron put into this comic. For majority of people, they actually did connect and understand what she had gone through, some even sharing some more stories and comics by the creators. The more negative comments don't deteriorate the art, no matter how much they think it might, and in fact to this day, the comic still remains up. And I'm glad to see that even after all this time, she's still creating and making art. Though of course, I'm not the only one with thoughts on this, as I asked my audience what they thought of the comic and the reaction behind it. And if you want a chance to be read in the video, be sure to subscribe and look out for my community posts. It came out at an unfortunate time when dramatic comics like That Casually Misogynistic Remark and I Might Go Homeless were giving these types of comics a bad name. I remember when this comic made its rounds on Twitter and sadly remember the reaction to it. I'm both surprised, but not surprised by how some people nowadays on the internet seem to treat horrific issues. I think the worst thing about all of this was how most of the scumbags basically took this personal comic that is supposed to be taken serious. Understanding and bravery of standing up against an oppressor have worked into a bunch of disgusting jokes and cold-hearted opinions. I hope this person that made the comic is doing okay. I read it on Reddit and was not aware of this backlash. I mean, it was pretty tame for a story of mentorship abuse and gaslighting. When I say tame, I don't mean to underwrite the experience of being groomed, but as a package, it was tactfully presented, aligned for multiple age groups to view the work, and have a good takeaway that could lead to further discussion. As someone who occasionally animates PSAs, I thought it was rather okay, and it's fine just being okay. Perhaps the comments by Gay Science was right in a way, but more so that for comics like this, it's better not to post them on Twitter. If you want more thoughtful and positive engagement, it would be best to post elsewhere. Personally, I've been using Blue Sky more, only using Twitter to say happy birthday and just posting promo tweets for these videos. Honestly, it's been a way more positive experience overall. And just because you see comments like these, it shouldn't deter you from creating. You're out here putting your heart and soul into your art, and the replies aren't contributing to that conversation of your improvement. They're just trying to pull you down to their depths of misery. Like I mentioned before, Aaron's comic wasn't a call out or even a call to action. It is a work to let herself go from the emotional shackles of her professor, and I wish her the best of luck in her future art and endeavors. On her website, she would use these character designs as part of her portfolio, perhaps signifying in a way that she has moved on from her past, even just by a little bit. I hope you liked this video, and if you want more, please like and subscribe. And until next time, you best have a good day, and maybe draw something? Unless you're already drawing something right now, then you should finish that one, and then draw something else. Bye!